Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Bobcat Sports Weekly, hosted by Nick Brown and my co-host
Ethan Bishop.
And we're here to bring you all of the results of the last week's Bobcat Sports athletic events and competitions. It was an action-packed week, and we've got a lot to get into from the cross-country team, golf, volleyball, and the big win football got on Friday. So let's hop on into it.
So the cross-country team went out to Hidden Valley for the Clash of the Titans cross-country meet. Some of our girls are M. Hastings Crummy and Abby Barnes. They were both 5th and 6th. And Emma Hastings Crummy just beating out Abby Barnes by 1 second with a time of 21:14 and Abby Barnes of 21:15. And then also our boys.
Yep, so the boys, our top two runners, William Hardick placed 6th individually out of 141 runners with a time of 17:56. That is a screaming time. With Landon Roop following shortly behind him, coming in 18th out of the 141 boys runners with a time of 18:45. Both teams placed very well from what I've heard. Not exactly sure what the official number was they both placed, but Emma and Abby placing 5th and 6th, and William and Landon as our top two boys, 6th and 18th. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, they had a really good run. They ran their hearts out. And
that's a combining with 3A, 4A, and 1A schools. That's a big old Clash of Titans is a huge meet every year at Hidden Valley, so past area. So this is good running by them, and Caro seems pleased with their week's results.
Yep, for sure.
So the golf team, we had a home match at the River Course versus George Wythe and Floyd. George Wythe ended up being the top dog, but out of the two teams that were in 2A, which was Floyd and us, Floyd unfortunately got the pig for the week. They took home the title for between the two of us, beating us out by only 8 strokes. But, I mean, you were there. How do we look?
I was there. I got a little bit of footage for us. Roll it. And, yeah, I mean, y'all look pretty good. I didn't really get to see too much because I couldn't stay for too long. But from the one hole that I did see, I mean, everybody looked like they were doing pretty good.
Yeah, so you were on hole number 9. That's a nice little par 5 there. Not too hard of a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Good outing for us. Got to get our scores a little lower, especially if we get the states. It'll be at the River Course. So if we can get our scores a little lower at home, I don't see any stopping us. Good match at Auburn Hills on Monday also, which we did win that one. That was Monday before this match that you were at. We beat Floyd by 17, so we had the pig for 2 days, and then it got taken right back. But it was a dominant win at Auburn Hills.
And what did we get on the pig this week? What did y'all cook up this week?
All right, so we put on the pig. We put some Argyle pants, copying our Argyle shorts that we wear every match, and then a tattoo on his stomach that says Bobcats. So Rob was a little excited about that one. Coach Roberts was excited about putting that on. But unfortunately, Floyd got it back Wednesday, but we'll see what they have in store for the next week. So we'll see them today, Monday. Here we're traveling. We're recording this Monday, so we're traveling to George Wythe today, Monday. Playing at Wytheville Country Club. Then on Thursday we travel up to Floyd, and we take on Floyd in Patrick County, who's also the 2A school. So we'll be there at Floyd, and so 2 times we can win the pig this week. Hopefully we can get through the week undefeated.
So our volleyball team, they play today at home. Against Marion. Today is Monday when we are recording this, and they play against Marion. And then also on Tuesday they play back-to-back games.
Yes.
And they go on to Giles to play them.
Yep. So that'll be at Giles, back-to-back games. That's I mean, not terrible. This team's very good. So that won't be too hard on their stamina, I guess. But the Bobcats are a combined 14-0 in sets this year. 4 straight sweeps now. If you include if you're including the Pulaski outcome, but 14-0 in sets this year, that's pretty ridiculous. And they're not like squeaking by in these sets. They're dominating. I was at the Fort Chiswell game last week. I was at home. Pretty good crowd attendance. Good little student section we had there. They swept Fort Chiswell easily for the 2nd time this week. They're looking extremely strong.
Yep.
So I was talking to Tiffany Dobbins at the game. She graduated obviously last year, senior last year on the volleyball team. She said, yeah, this team looks really good, and she says that they think they can win another state championship. She says, looking from an outsider now perspective, she says this team looks loaded.
Yeah, and that'd be awesome too if we can get back-to-back state championships for. I don't know, have we ever done that before in volleyball?
Not in volleyball.
So I think that's going to be a really cool achievement if we can do that. So.
And that'd be 3 out of 5 years if we could do that. That's pretty ridiculous if we could do that.
It's not bad at all.
No, they know that. I know the team would gladly do that. Would enjoy that one. So hopefully they can do that. Of course, they've got 2 games this week back to back, and then they've got almost a whole week off till next week. So hopefully, well, now you will see this. We won't be able to warn you about seeing the game today, but hopefully we'll be telling you next week about the big wins that they had, and hopefully that they will be 20-0 in sets. Now, Giles, I heard, is a pretty big opponent. I was talking to Maggie. They're always pretty good.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can get a big win there. But we'll see. So the volleyball team looking very strong. Hopefully, even a little bit better than last year. And that's good for us. Title town for a reason, man. Hopefully we can get another ring. The football team got another huge win over Fort Chiswell on Friday. They traveled up to the Pioneers, where they call their stadium the Fort. That's kind of creative. But Bobcats invaded that fort easily and came out with a dominating win, 45-6. Looked electric all over the field. And if you want to talk about those team stats.
Yeah, so let's see. So our team, we had 205 rushing yards. That's insane. And we didn't have as good of a passing game. We only have 50 yards passing, but total yards 255. Can't complain with that.
Pretty solid.
But then also our defense, just another dominating performance from them. They only allowed 53 rushing yards, 18 passing yards. That's insane, and only 71 total yards. So.
Yeah, they locked down on defense, didn't they?
Yeah, we definitely can't complain at all about our defensive performance.
No, that defense was stifling. I was at the game. I was actually in the broadcasting booth with the actual radio, Jeff Kleppen and Richie Davis. They did a phenomenal job, as always, on the radio. You alluded to the passing yards. We didn't have that great of a pass game, 50 yards. We only threw the ball 14 times.
Yeah.
Zane Roop was, unfortunately, a little off also. He was 5 for 14 throwing. But he certainly
matter in the end.
No, he also certainly made up for it in his rushing yards. 70 yards on just 8 attempts. Pretty dang good. PJ Prelude on the opening play had a 42-yard touchdown run. So he opened the gates quickly with a big score there. He had 3 attempts for 46 total yards. So he only had 4 yards after that. He unfortunately left the game in the second quarter due to an injury. Hopefully that's a little minor. We'll be seeing if that could be vital against Gretna this week. They're a pretty big team. But after it was next man mentality, Jarrell Baylor came in the second half, and he had 8 carries for 54 yards and a touchdown run. Very proud of him. He was bullying and bruising his way up the sidelines. He did really well. Xavier had 4 sweeps for about 4 yards, so not that great of a game for him. He also had 1 reception for about 15 yards. And then Darius Wesley Brubeck was a solid 6 rushing attempts for 31 yards. So overall, pretty good running game. Great running game, 205 yards. Can't complain about that. And it was all thanks to that offensive line, man. That offensive line was bullying that D-line all around. No penetration by their defense at all, and even on blitzes. That defense, man, that front 4 is ridiculous.
Yeah. Our secondary, too, also that they
Locking
played
down.
Only allowing 17 passing yards.
Yep, so they also recorded an interception. Jersey Johnson tipped the ball, and Zane Roop, the safety, intercepted it. They also forced a fumble that Jersey Johnson jumped on. So the defense, man, they were flying all over the place. It was overall a great game.
Yeah, overall. So some of our big plays that we had Zane Roop who had a 50-yard run, and he just didn't even get touched the entire way to the end zone. So very, very nice run from him.
So he also had the interception on defense, so very well-rounded game for him. He also later on had a 10-yard touchdown run, so he had 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Yep.
So, yeah, Jarrell Baylor bruising 23-yard run, running over defenders left and right. That was very entertaining. I was getting hyped in the booth, man. So was the student section on the field. Connor Litton had 2 field goals, one from 22 yards and one from 41 yards. Pretty good kick game for him. He's got a cannon for a leg, dude. Jersey Johnson had the fumble recovery. And then Darius Wesley Brubeck had a a blocked punt in the end zone for a safety. So that was pretty crazy. The defense also had a landslide of a sack in the end zone for another safety. So 2 safeties. That just shows the dominance of this defense, man.
Yep, and then we also can't forget our big boy Kit Green returning an onside kick for a touchdown. Just an absolute tank.
No one wanted to tackle him. That was the funny part. He received the onside kick, and it was like Moses parting the Red Seas, man. They just opened up. No one wanted to take. I mean, I wouldn't want to try to tackle him one-on-one.
Yeah, I don't blame them. A 6'6", big old.
And
I don't know.
280.
280. I don't want to get in the way.
That's
of that,
a freight train coming down the line, man. So yeah, they opened the seas up. It was with a minute left in the game, so I mean, it really wasn't going to change anything. But he pretty much waltzed into the end zone. It was funny, but man. It was, good for him. Congratulations to him getting that. I'm assuming that's his first ever kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm just going out on a limb saying he hasn't done that earlier. But it was very entertaining, and we're very excited for him. The team was. And on other news, this is probably the biggest story of the week. Ashley Burdett, first girl starter for Radford High School football, man.
She was big moves.
She was the snapper for the field goals. She was perfect on the game. Didn't let a bad snap go, and so that was a huge news and breaking barriers, man.
Yeah.
And so that's a big time. We've had previous girls play, but for her to first catch the 2-point conversion last year, and now start as center for this year, that was good, man.
Yeah, it's awesome to see some of our girls get into sports that are not usually sports that a lot of girls get into, so it's what we like to see.
Well, and I'm not telling Ashley that she can't compete, man. She's a strong girl, and she can definitely hold her guard blocking. So, big game this week.
We got homecoming week this week. Blackout theme against Gretna at home this week on Friday.
Yep.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Bringing Friday Night Lights back to Bobcat Stadium for this week. Yeah, you said against Gretna. They're looking pretty good. They scored 62 points their first game and 46 in their second game. Got the bye week this past week, so they're gearing up. Maybe a little revenge. We beat them last week in a grinding out defensive battle. But
we played them 2 times last year, didn't we? 7-6 in one game, and then the other game we beat them by a touchdown.
Yep, in the playoffs. That was at Christiansburg. So, I mean, obviously they've got some revenge on their mind, trying to come and ruin our homecoming. But I know that our team is gearing up. It's homecoming. You want to defend the stadium. Come on. I mean, and obviously an electric stadium. We've got a ton of fans, very rowdy. Student section, very rowdy crowd also.
Yep.
So hopefully we can defend it. I have faith in our team. And hopefully we get PJ back. That's a big one right there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if he can make his way back to before that game. So,
so we'll see. Gretna, a little scary here, man. This will be the first big test for our Bobcats.
Yeah. So let's see if our boys can live up to the expectations. So.
I believe they can. We were talking to Ben Cox, and he certainly thinks that they can go all the way undefeated too.
Yep.
So hopefully we can keep the perfect record against Gretna. And hopefully an undefeated week in all of our sports. So we got tons coming up. So it's been our 5th week already. 5th installment, man. It's flying by.
Yep, pretty crazy. Be sure to leave a like. Be sure to subscribe.
And we're gearing up and moving into the year just smoothly. And hopefully we'll see you around next week. Hopefully we'll be talking about an undefeated week from the Bobcats and all of their athletic events. Thanks for watching. This has been Nick Brown.
And Ethan Bishop.
And we're signing off.